All right, here we go. So, friendly reminder that you need to, where's my sleeve? You need to know that you have a vocab quiz on Monday on 1 through 10, Tuesday 11 through 20. There's only 20 words this week. On Wednesday, you have your map and your primary source are due, and on Thursday, you have a test. This is your first 5-day week. It is going to go really quickly, so please make sure. I would definitely get your work done over the weekend because you're going to want to come in prepared with questions because some of this content, hopefully not a lot, but some of this content I'm not going to cover in class. Just completely being honest with you, I'm not going to be able to cover it in class. So the more questions as you are reading that you have and you come to class prepared to ask, the better you will be in the long term. I was talking to Carbon this morning who teaches A push, who you'll be, half of you essentially will be seeing next year. Half of you will be seeing Misano. He was just talking about how they can't believe how fast A push goes. A push goes faster. And they have more detail than we do. So it's a skill you have to have. My AP World kids, he was happy to report that my kids were doing really well. He saw a difference between my kids and the other kids, both non-AP World takers and the other teacher who taught. So it is a skill you have to have. It's going to be continued. Picking up content quickly, implementing it, using it, doing well with it, and moving on. It's a big skill, and this is the first real week of that test. All right, so, all right, let's do it. Atlantic. Mediterranean. We got Red Sea, Persian Gulf, Caspian, Black Sea. All right. We're going to label Britain. We're going to label Iberia, which is formerly known and today known as Spain. We have Gaul, which is known as, oh God, people, where's that located today? France. The answer is France. Oh geez, people. We have the capital of Rome, of the Roman Empire is Rome. Rome. That was not a trick question. The capital of the Roman Empire is Rome. Okay, you do need to, this is Sardine. Today it's called Sardinia. Very fancy, I know. This is, yeah, this is Carthage. Carthage is a very important port for the Romans. They're going to fight with the Romans for a long time. Eventually will be defeated. It is the largest exporter of wheat in the world, and the Romans need it. Why do the Romans need so much wheat? Who are they trying to feed? Nope, they're not feeding their people. What are the Romans known for? They're... No. The military, yes. They're going to have the largest military in the world up until the 1900s. Is that pretty impressive? Yes. Yes. So, this is Macedonia. Okay, so because of that, they have to import a ton of wheat in order to feed them, and they're getting most of it from Carthage, which they're going to conquer after multiple run-ins with them. Mesopotamia, of course, we know. We have Judea, which is over here. And then, of course, we have the capital city of Jerusalem. 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 This is obviously Egypt. And you need one box. And it's Roman Empire at its peak. That's it. I'm going to use a pretty color. I like this one. Well, this isn't the color I wanted. Oops. Oh well. Alright. So, we're going to start on this side because we're here. Alright, so the Roman Empire is going to be known for its military. And if you have a very strong military, do you have a lot of territory or very little territory? A lot of territory. The Roman Empire is going to be the third largest empire we will study. Okay, the reason why it is as important as it is because of A, of its scale, because it's going to be humongous, and B, its influence in the regions that it conquers and for how long they're going to be the most influential component. Now, we've talked about already that Egypt is the fundamental, that the Roman Empire is going to be a fundamental component of Western society. You've obviously heard about Rome well before you got to my classroom, or you ever heard the name Bennett before. And so that is a testimony of how significant it is. We talked briefly during the Do Now of how significant their law code is, the 12 tables. That is going to stand the test of time. If you are in Rennes, you are going to spend a ton of time on the Romans because their art and culture and beliefs are going to be spread in a major way all the way around Europe. And as you can see, we're coloring in a lot. Now, the Romans are going to conquer territories that were previously thought to be unconquerable. Now, you are going to have to color in a little bit of Britain, but not all of Britain, so please keep an eye on it. So the fact that they couldn't conquer all of Britain tells us what about the Britons? They're strong, or they are crazy as hell. And guess what they are? They are crazy as hell. The Romans are completely horrified by what they find in England. They're straight up horrified. They are dirty and disgusting and a bunch of weirdos who live in these huts. And the Romans have nothing positive to say about the Britons, like at all. But because of how difficult it was to conquer them, that's why you only see such little territory conquered. Another region that was actually very hard to capture is Gaul, which is modern-day France. That was one of the last regions to be conquered. And the most famous Roman citizen ever is the guy responsible for capturing it for Rome. And does anyone know who I'm talking about? Who? Caesar! Julius Caesar is a general. That's how he rises into fame. He is a general. He's going to cause a lot of problems for the emperor at the time. And because he causes all these problems, the emperor's like, you know what? Screw Julius Caesar. I hate him so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send him to defeat the people of Gaul. And the people of Gaul have killed everyone else I've sent there. So what are they probably going to do to Julius? Kill him. So he sent him there to die. By the way, I'm done with my map. You can start coloring in all the land and water. So the emperor sends Julius Caesar in a small army. A small army. Why did he send a small one? Yeah, he wanted him to die. He didn't want him to win. So he sends Julius Caesar off to fight in Gaul, thinking he's going to die. Well, Julius Caesar is a real spiteful man. So guess what he does? He wins. My man wins. Okay, so how do you think the emperor feels? Oh, he is raging. So Julius Caesar turns to his very small army who just defeated Gaul, and they are marching back, and everyone is celebrating this great Roman achievement because they haven't been able to do it in like 400 years, and here is Julius Caesar. Is this going to make Julius Caesar more popular or less popular? Oh, he is going to be a Roman hero for sure. So Julius Caesar is going to become even more famous. So do you think it's going to make it easier or harder for the emperor? Harder. So you know what? Julius Caesar turns to his men and he's like, you know what? This guy wanted to freaking kill me. Why don't we just kill him? So Julius Caesar takes his small military and starts telling people, hey, we're going to go kill the emperor. You want to join us? And everyone's like, yeah, let's do that. So he ends up showing back up in Rome with this massive military and performs a coup. A coup is a political takeover of a government. So he creates a coup, overthrows the emperor, obviously kills the guy. I think we can all understand why he would do that. Kills the guy, and he then declares himself emperor for life. And obviously he lives peacefully to the end of his years, right? No. Now, Julius Caesar is obviously very famous for defeating the Gaul, which is how he rose to national prominence. However, he is going to anoint himself Caesar, or emperor for life, and that's not going to go well because at this point, Rome is a republic, which means it's based on democracy, and they don't have emperors with unrestricted power. So what happens to my boy Julius? Yes, he gets stabbed walking out of the Senate building, and he says, "Et tu, Bruti." I don't really know if he said that, but William Shakespeare thought he did, so that's what he wrote. Anyway, he gets stabbed in the back. Well, this is going to cause about 50 years of turmoil in Rome because no one knows what to do next. Are we a republic now, or are we an empire now? And eventually, probably the second most famous person in Roman history is going to come to power. Who is the second most powerful? Starts with an A? No, he's Greek. He's Greek, and we already talked about him. He's already dead, remember? Yeah. No, he's Macedonian, but he's definitely not Roman, that's for sure. Augustus. Have you heard of Augustus? Yeah, well, Augustus is going to rise into power about 50 years later. Now, during this time of turmoil in the Roman Empire, we're going to have Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Yes, we've heard of them. They're going to come into power, and they're going to try to make Rome, take over Rome together. That's why they pair themselves up, to try to take over the emperorship of Rome. How does that go for them? Terrible. Yeah, they're both going to die. Eventually Augustus is going to rise into power, and he's going to say that he is the nephew of Julius Caesar. Do you think that's true? No. However, he's going to call himself in order to get all the fans of Julius Caesar on his team. And he is going to become the emperor, the first actual emperor of Rome during the empire phase. And he's going to begin the Pax Romana, which is a very big deal. And yeah, so Julius Caesar is going to lead us from the Republic to the Empire, which is a very big transition, which we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes. Are we done? Bendelo's been done for like ever. So, all right, you got 10 seconds, and then we're going to flip it. Are we that excited about flipping it? What? 5, 4. If I finish, you definitely should be done. 2, 1. Flip it. Alright, so this side is the Americas. It's very simple as well. I would really like to teach today. So we got the Pacific Ocean over here. We've got the Atlantic Ocean over here. I don't know what happened to spelling ocean. Don't look at it. Alright. Here we go. Right here, we're going to put a dot. We're going to call it, I call it T-City, because, like, I can't pronounce it. But Ren can if you care. T-E-O-T-I-H-U-A-C-A-N. Yeah, you try, yeah. No. Ask Ren. Do you have AP Art? Yeah. Ask him. Ren will say it. He'll say it. You know he will, correct? Yeah, he is. He'll happily pronounce it 10,000 times for you just because he can. All right, Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, of course. We're going to label the Andes Mountains over here. Okay, we got another major city. It's called Chavin de H-U-A-N-T-A-R, whatever that is. And then you need 6 boxes. We have Maya. Oh. Olmec. What are the Olmecs famous for?
Rubber.
Rubber and heads. Zone of T-City, T-E-O-T-I-H-U-A-C-A-N, influence. Then we have Mochi and Shimu. then Hari, I guess, H-U-A-R-I, and then T-I-A-H-U-A-N-A-C-O.
Does that get tiring?
It's no way in hell is that coming out of my mouth. There we go. All right. I am going to use yellow for my Maya. Now, if any of you have ever been on a cruise of the Caribbean, any of you gone on a cruise of the Caribbean? You probably went to Cozumel, Cancun? Yeah? Then you were on the peninsula, the Yucatan Peninsula, which is right over here. This is the Yucatan Peninsula. You can't see it. That is the Yucatan Peninsula. If you went there, did anyone go see the Mayan ruins? Yeah. Did you do the 2-hour tour or 4-hour tour? There you go. Well, some kid in my last class said he did both.
Wow.
It's a lot of education on a cruise. I know. Anyway, so he said it was really cool. Did you think it was worth the bus ride? Okay. I'm more of a lay on the beach kind of girl myself, but. Alright, so that's the Mayan. That's where they're located. The Olmecs, of course, who are known for their heads. Okay. The Olmecs are located right over here. Then we have the zone of T-City. Obviously, that's going to be around T-City. For me, it's going to be this really ugly orange or red. And we're just going to go doo-doo-doo. Then we have the Mochi. And Shimu. They are going to be pink for me. They are right here. Then we have the Hari, which are going to be purple. Now, the Hari is going to be the foundation for what South American society? They are incredibly famous. They built Machu Picchu. Incas, yes! They are the foundation of the Incas. Now, I love the Incas. They're one of my favorites to teach. If you are interested in the Incans, Ren and I are going to South America next summer, where you can meet a llama as we climb to Machu Picchu. You're going to ride a llama. Isn't that cool? Oh, by the way, I'm done. Yeah, we're going to go to South America next summer. If you're interested, you are more than welcome to join us. We are going to go to Machu Picchu. We are going to walk on Incan roads, which are still being used in the mountains. Isn't that cool? The Incans are the ones who built most of the roads in South America. The reason why they're going to be discovered by the Spanish who are going to arrive on the east coast of South America is because of the roads. So they find all these roads because the Americans are trading with one another. They are absolutely trading with one another. And so they're going to find these roads and they're going to be like, huh, I wonder where this goes. And guess what? They're going to follow those roads and guess it leads them right into the cities of the Incans. However, the Spanish did not find Machu Picchu, which is why it is still intact. People didn't find it until like the 1930s, which is why it is a World Heritage Site, because no one knew it was there. There were people living in it, of course. Now those people aren't living there anymore, and now it's just a historic site. But we are going to go see Machu Picchu. It's very cool. So that's the Incans. We're going to talk about them for a long time. The Incans are actually the inspiration for a guy named Karl Marx. Oh. No. For Karl Marx. What is Karl Marx famous for? Communist Manifesto. He is famous for that. He created communism, and he based his communism off of the Incan government. Because the Incans are really your first communistic society, which is pretty cool, even though they obviously didn't call themselves communists, and they weren't overthrown by the workers, but that's a whole other issue we'll get to when we get to communism. But the Incans are super, super abnormal in comparison to the rest of the world, but super, super cool. I really like them. The problem is with that museum in Brazil that just burned down, yes?
Yep.
I had the largest collection of Incan items and Aztec items in the world. So all of those are now gone. A couple of items that Ren will be showing you throughout the course of the year in his content are gone, and you can never see them in person. Isn't that tragic?
How did it burn down?
So fire caught wood, and then it burned down.
That wasn't like arson or anything.
I don't think so. The building was like 200 years old. And they didn't have sprinklers. I don't know. I don't know. Well, in the United States it's illegal, but it's not like a worldwide thing. What?
So, like, haven't those artifacts already been there?
Well, yeah. I mean, we have pictures of them. They've been documented, but you can't see the originals. Don't you want to go see the original of things? Have you been to France yet?
Right here.
No, you. Oh my God, you're not one of those people. My father-in-law, I love to travel, and I have lived a very sheltered life. Like, I didn't go to Europe until I was 29, so keep that in mind. By the way, we're going to transition in about a minute to your notes, so I would take out your notebook. My stepfather thinks there's no reason to go to Paris because you can just go to Epcot. It's the same thing.
Oh my God.
He means it with his whole heart.
I mean, it's cheaper. But
You've got to be kidding me.
no,
Do you really think it's
I
the
wanna go to
same?
Paris.
Oh my God. But he truly believes that. He's like, there's no reason to leave Central Florida. You literally have the world right here.
Florida is
Oh
the
my
reason.
God. Isn't that horrifying? What do you got?
These book numbers for Britain on the back side. Okay, thank you.
All right, you got 30 seconds, and you should have your notes out. What?
How come nobody lived on the other side of South America? The Atlantic side.
They do. They just don't have massive civilizations that have been organized. Does that make sense? There's tons of like villages and stuff like that, but no like any type of centralizing government or empire building. Does that make sense? People are living all over the place, people. They just haven't organized themselves into a coherent government. Do we see the difference? Which is why we're not studying all these other things. Still period 2. All right. Here we go. So on the top of your notes, you need to write week 5 because that is where we are. This is Romans and America. So this is week 5. We're still in period 2. Next week is period 2, and then we're in writing week, where we write essays all week. It's going to be the best time. The best. And then we'll be in week 3. So writing week is always at the end of a period. Okay, so that's how we review, and that's what we'll be doing. So everyone on your notes need to definitely have week 5 so you know exactly where we are. I would like you to write down the Roman Empire, because that's where we're going to start first. And then underneath it, I want you to write the Roman Empire has 3 sections to it. The Roman Empire has 3 sections. The first one is called the kingdom. The second is called the republic. Ooh. And the third is called the empire. Oh, Bay. So proud. He has to pick dinner tonight, and he usually drags his feet, so we go to the same place. He made a reservation somewhere fancy. Okay, okay. I see you, Bay. Third is the republic. Which one do you think is the shortest?
What?
No, it's the empire. Just kidding. It's the empire. Which one do you think is the shortest? The kingdom. So next to it, I would write the shortest. The republic includes what type of government structure? Democracy. So I would write next to republic. Government is democracy. If you want to get really fancy, a representative democracy, but you need to know it's a democracy. And the empire is going to be the longest period. Okay, and it is no more democracy. I don't know if you want to write that down, I would. No more democracy in the empire. It is a straight up emperor rule. What do you got?
Are these these 3 separated by location or time?
Time. We're going to do the kingdom here in about 2 seconds. Are we looking forward to it? So underneath that, I would write a new heading of the kingdom. I would write that it is a monarchy. It is a monarchy system in Rome. Because that's where it starts. Okay, it is in Rome. And it was officially started by, and you're going to put in quotes, officially started by Remus and Romulus, which is on my board right over here. Officially started by, and you're going to put in quotes, Remus and Romulus. Does anyone know who they are? They're Greek mythology. They're not Greek mythology.
It's with like the river. No. But there's like the. Oh no, I know it, but like I don't know it.
There was a lot going on. I'm so glad. Aiden.
I know that they're twins and that like the river washed them to safety, or the god of the river.
yeah.
Raised by wolves.
Sure. Yeah, they're raised by wolves.
Oh.
That's really the thing I know. I don't know how they got there, but they're like raised by wolves.
They were like gonna drown the god of the river. Like,
Sure, whatever. Okay. Anyway, so Remus and Romulus are the founders. We don't really think they existed because it is in lore that they were saved by a wolf. And in Ren's class, you're going to study a piece on Remus and Romulus where they're like suckling from a wolf's breast. Yeah, so I'm going to say probably not true, but you know, if that's what you want to believe, you can. But yes, you do need to know. And if you see underneath that, I put a little star and say myth because like we can't prove it. But they're technically given credit for the founders. All right, congrats. I hope you enjoyed the kingdom. Republic! Here we go. So your republic. You need to know that the Romans beat the Etruscans. I'm pretty sure that's a test question. The Romans beat the Etruscans. They are going to kick them out, and they officially begin their republic. They're starting to expand their borders. Payne.
Who's the Etruscans?
The Etruscans are like the remnants of the remnants of the remnants of the Greeks. Remember, there's no overlap between the Greeks and the Romans, but these are like the descendants of what the Greeks would be. Does that make sense? I don't want you to think the Greek Empire and the Romans overlap because they don't, but they're calling themselves Greeks. But they're not. They're Etruscans. What? How about look on my PowerPoint where it says Etruscan? What do you got, Macy?
so were the Etruscans around during the kingdom?
Yeah, they're going to be neighbors. And then as they grow into the Republic, they're going to start expanding their borders. What?
I know the Greeks and the Romans never overlapped, but was there like an area where like Greeks were?
So when we say that the Greeks collapsed, there's still people in Greece. There's people living there just because an empire collapses. Like, for instance, if tomorrow China invades the United States, are we all dead? No. Some of us are going to be dead. However, all Americans can be like, oh my God, no more America. And, like, we all die? No, we're going to still have people here who are going to be conquered by China. Same kind of thing. But the actual empire, the actual government structure has been completely destroyed. So, are there people in Greece? Yes. Are they calling themselves Greeks? Yes. Are they following a local government? Yes. Is it of any importance to us? No. Has it any value to us in that? No. Which is why we say they rise and then they fall. All right. You do need to know they build the Roman Forum, which is their center of government. Who here has ever been to Rome? Yes. Did you go to see the Colosseum? Yes. Did you walk next door and look at a pile of rocks and people said, think about how beautiful and big it would have been? Yeah. Yeah, it is so stupid. Did you do it too?
Yeah.
Yes, you will go. You cannot go to Rome and not see the Colosseum. You have to go. Then they're going to say, they're going to charge you like $25 to go into the Roman Forum. Don't do it. Okay, you got to do it, but don't do it. It is the dumbest thing. You walk in and it's just rocks. And they're like, during Roman times, this was beautiful and huge. And there's literally one column standing, right? One column, and they're like, look at that column. That was the facade of some stupid building. And it had 25 of these columns in front of it. Think about the beauty and the scale of it. And you're just like, it's a freaking column, man. Like, I can't, like, visualize it. So you're, like, walking around through rocks, and you're just like, what the hell is happening here? And you pay $25 for that. No, you can't. Because everyone who goes in there is like, why the hell are we here, right? They're like, damn, we should have just gone and got a croissant somewhere, right? Go find ourselves a pastry. You sucked?
Yes.
Fake news, friend.
Well, we went to France first. So
Okay, all right, fine. Anyway, so the Roman Forum, why does it matter? It's the center of all government business. That's why it matters. The most fabulous Roman buildings were there. They're not there now, so when you go see it, it's a bunch of rocks. Okay, they also have all the palaces of the emperors going to be there. Guess what's not there anymore? The palace of the emperor. They point to a hill that has nothing on it, not even a tree, and they say, that's where the palace was. And you're just like, cool. That's exactly how you will feel, and then you will leave there feeling like you just got robbed of $25. You will, you do need to write down that they have a Republican Constitution, which means it's based on what government structure? Democracy. What type of democracy is it? Representative. I would write that down. Payne.
Wait, so then where'd all the stuff go? Why did it get destroyed?
Oh, because, like, for instance, the Colosseum right now looks like crap, right? It's, like, really being down. It's not because of the age of it. It's because people, like, the Colosseum used to be covered in white marble, really beautiful white marble. So the Catholic Church, Avi, went to the Colosseum and stole all the white marble off of it to build St. Peter's Basilica. And if you've been to St. Peter's Basilica, it is beautiful. The marble is insane because it used to be attached to it. They used to quarry from it. So all of the buildings from the Roman Forum, they just took apart and built something else.
Mr. Ren said that happens a lot. Like, even with the Great Pyramids, they stripped it of the white
Yeah.
marble and made, like...
They built something else. No, Rome is actually really cool. Rome is exactly what I was hoping it was going to be when I got there. Because like my biggest thing, because like I said, I didn't go to Europe until I was 29, and I've been teaching now for 9 years, and this is all I do is teach pretty much European history, so I was so worried about being disappointed, you know what I mean? Because like, if you think I am insane, imagine how awful I am when I'm disappointed. I am like a big mess, so I was so worried about being disappointed. Rome was exactly what I wanted. It was perfect. France I was a little disappointed in. Mostly because my husband just complained the whole damn time. Because it was raining, so he was so fussy and ruined everything. It's fine. You do need to know that there are 2 councils in the Republic. There are 2 councils. What that means, there are 2 of the highest elected officials who spend one-on-one time with the emperor. There are 2 councils, okay, who are elected to their position, who get to spend one-on-one time with the emperor. So, it is important for you to know, you don't need to write down, but just understand that the first government to elect its actual leader is who? America. We are the first to actually elect our head of government. Does that make sense? That is why America is weird, and everyone's like, that's why we're the beacon of democracy. Because in other governments throughout time, they've elected officials to influence the leaders. But the Americans are weirdos because we elect our leaders, and that's what makes us super unique and why we're the home of democracy. Does that make sense? So these 2 councils are just there to influence and not to rule, because we don't see that until 1776 when we say, you know what, screw you, England. Goodbye.